All right, here we go. How'd I get a like? I just got here. I ain't said nothing yet. Appreciate the like though. Nobody in the room though. You see what they do to me? They got my numbers jacked. Okay, gatekeepers, open it up. So wow. I gotta tell you people, I'm just chilling with the smell of lavender and coffee. One of them will get me woke up, the other one will put me down. I don't know which one's gonna happen, but we're gonna talk about it. Oh man, there's a lot going on. They got riots going on in Atlanta right now because another guy got shot. He tried to take their taser from them. There was a fight. He ran off, and as they were going after him or whatever, they shot him. And so that was kind of crazy. And this guy videoed it through his car, and I could put a link up to that. You know, you'll see it whenever I get done with this live. I'll put a link to that one. But there's all kinds of stuff to get into. I took a few notes. We're going. They looted the Florida Walmart. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office reported and released a video of the looting, the camera footage in the Walmart and outside the Walmart of people leaving the Walmart with everything, and the looting. Probably the same people that were shopping there last week. Now they just go in there, you know, on discount, on that 5-finger discount. So Texas Rattler put that up. I'll put a link to that on his. And basically they're burning Atlanta. It's not Sherman this time. This time it's the people living there. Actually, it's probably Antifa, that criminal organization that's going to every city and burning fake cop cars and writing on it cops. If you write on a car with spray paint cops, does that make it a cop car? Even if it's an old car? I'm just saying. No. Oh my God, it's a crazy world, but people will believe that shit. They will buy it hook, line, and sinker. You know. Let's see. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Let's see. Christian Cuevas. Okay. Hold on a second here. I got to scroll up again. No, yeah. Well. So I'm gonna call. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to call on you. I'm gonna call you Christian for short. So yeah. So after the shooting in Atlanta, they took over I-85 downtown right there where it happened, and are crossing over the road, and the news media waited till they crossed the road and blocked the road, and then they said they're blocking the road. But I don't know how long they blocked it, if the State Patrol, Georgia State Patrol, is going to allow that shit, or if they just had not heard about it at the time. This was like well, it's just before I went and got coffee, which was a long trip, people. I tried to hurry it up, but then they had steaks in there for sale, and I'm like, golly, they got them little round steaks, a couple bucks. And then they had the little chicken fettuccine Alfredo. So I got a lot of stuff happening, and a microwave in this truck. I'm gonna tell you, it's done me good for saving money, but I'm probably gonna wind up, I don't know. I do a lot of exercise and working and stuff. I may or may not gain some pounds off this one, because for real, those damn Marie Calendar, you know, noodles. And anyways, don't get me off track, but it was a good trip to the store and then coming back, and in that amount of time, they may have cleaned up I-85 in Atlanta. So I mean, but it just had happened that they had crossed over the road, and they were saying, hey, is there any cops up there? And some person up on the bridge was saying yes. So they were scared at first, and then they were on the road. So if you do deliver downtown Atlanta, which you're supposed to take the loop, but if you have a reason to go in there, or if you just go through there might be people blocking up the bridge on I-85, and it might cause traffic to back up all the way up to the loop, to the 285 Fruit Loop. So yeah, so that's going on in Atlanta, and they what they did was they set the Wendys on fire because Antifa is kind of stupid, but because what you do when you don't like a situation in your town is you burn the Wendys, and it's next to a gas station. So the Wendys might catch the gas station on fire. They don't know at this point. They were trying to put it out or trying to get somebody there to put it out or something like. It was fully engulfed, is what they said. The Wendys was, burn up. They also burnt in Atlanta what they called it the Gone with the Wind place or something. I don't know if it's some kind of a. I know that the woman that wrote the book Gone with the Wind, they said that she had a house that they thought it was special for some reason. Somebody just liked it and wanted to spend some government money on it, so they moved it, fixed it up, and they called it. I think that was the Margaret Mitchell house. I think that she's the one that wrote it Gone with the Wind, but it's my understanding that this was some kind of a different little thing. But if it's that house, they burnt that up. She called that place the dump. She didn't like it anyhow. Other people made it into some kind of something, so they might have burnt the dump. Okay, that's what she called it, was a dump. I ain't making fun of it. She made fun of it. But they fixed it up nicer now than when she lived there. But that's where she wrote the book. So whatever. And of course they are taking down statues and stuff, which really, if you ask me, my opinion on that is, if it costs money to do it, they need to find a different way. So instead of taking the material and put it into storage and melting it down or what, they need to sell it for the metal that it is and try to recoup the losses as soon as possible, or don't do it in the first place. That's just my thoughts. Just like, honestly, when they changed the flag in a lot of different places, but they changed the flag and it costs like over $2 million. It cost taxpayer money. They charged more to the people, and those people already had enough taxes, and so it cost them to do that, and then they complained about the taxes being raised. So it's one of the things, and some people lost their houses and stuff. And it's just one of the things where, one person, tries to start some mess and tries to say that needs to be changed, but it costs a couple $1 million. They don't care. It didn't come out of their pocket. They just want to, put their name in the headlines. Right, and then of course they ask for money and raise money themselves, but it does nothing for the people that lose their houses. So anytime there's change like that, some of it abrupt, people lose. Just like they've now, the people. By the way, I'll jump over to Minneapolis for a second. Minneapolis, yes, they have the National Guard there, but they're riding by, and the people in front of the shops that live there have gotten tired of it, and they're out there with AK-47s, which I don't see how those are legal unless they're pre-banned, because you're not supposed to have a fully auto weapon because of the law on fully automatic weapons. But if they bought them pre-ban, or if they're not fully auto, they can have them. But anyhow, a lot of these communities have got those, and they got walkie-talkies, and they're holding down the block. That's what they are not playing. And even cars riding through, they're barricading off their own intersections and blocks with actual barricades, not just junk, but these are nice DOT style barricades. They're letting the National Guard through, they're letting some people through, but they're not playing no shit, and they're in front of their place with automatic weapons. And there's one street where a bunch of mess was coming from. They said they got shot at down on that block, so they're watching that. They know where the trouble's coming from, and they're holding down the block. So that's happening in Minneapolis. I got a link to that, of them interviewing the townspeople that are out there with AKs, and they're in black shirts. They got radios. They're in communicate with each other, and they're running it like it's a defensive operation, and they're they're using pretty good military tactics. They're spreading out from each other when they go up to an individual that might be walking the street to find out why they're there and what they're doing, that kind of stuff. They're enforcing their own curfew on their own town to make sure nobody's burning nothing. And they've boarded up all the businesses up there. And in Minneapolis, they spray paint on the outside of the businesses, on the wood. They spray paint black-owned business on the wood, so that people maybe won't burn that one. Because really, it's Antifa doing the mess. Really, they're the ones that's doing all the damage to property. Really, and look, they got skateboards. If you see somebody with a skateboard and they come up on your block, ask them, show me a couple tricks. Ask them to do a kick flip. That's what you ask them. If they can't do a kick flip, they don't need the board. Take the board from them because they're using it to bust windows out. And if it's a brand new looking, ain't never been rode on Walmart special with no Gator Vision sticker or some other kind of sticker they could put on it, or any kind of graphics, and nothing saying their kind of bearings they're running, if they're ABEC 9 or 11, ask them what kind of bearings they run. If they don't know what a China Red is or ceramic bearings, they don't even know what you're talking about, they're not even skaters, they're posers. They're walking up with them skateboards, it's 2 of them, with the girl with the backpack and the lighter fluid in the water bottle, and they're torching fake cop cars, but they're also using those on businesses. But one of them got burned up. I put the link up to that already. You should already be aware of that if you saw my last live. If you haven't, you could go there now and come back if you wanted to, but you could hang until the end or whatever, and click on the links on my comments. You know, it's all on the comments of my last live, and so it ain't gonna hurt my feelings if you want to watch those, so you'd be, you know, up to date on the info that I'm talking about now. But that's one of the things I did put up there, was the video of that, and they're trained in how to do it in so many minutes. Now, the president even tweeted that he thought that the old man had fallen down harder than he was pushed, and also he was using a scanner. I believe he's using a frequency scanner. Now, criminals have for years used frequency or scanners for finding out your alarm code on your car. And so they started doing multiple different alarm codes where it goes through a whole bunch of them, so that the next one changes over and the next one changes over. But if you have the older style alarm system on your car, or just a cheaper system, or they could do it on your automatic garage door opener, they can frequency grab the one that you send out, and then they can mimic it by sending out their own signal when you leave, and they turn your alarm off. Okay, so they were trying to frequency grab though on and get close enough to the police, not scanners, but the police radios, so that they could listen in on a scanner, but also so that they could disable or put out their own signal to block the police signal. Now, if they're doing that, and if they're able to block cell phone signals, you're going to need to go a couple of blocks over, or a block and a half over, to use your cell phone to report them to the police. And also, while you're at it, report that there was a cell phone outage and you think somebody's jamming. Okay, so if they're jamming, you need to know what to say. Call the police and say, I think that they have radar, cell phone, and frequency jamming equipment, and you might not be able to get in touch with your officers if they are actually have the ability to do that. That's something that Trump even said, but people have put forward. They think that that's one of their tactics that they're working on. That old man was likely into communications, probably trained in some way, and he had a device in his hand. He was trying to get close to the cops and to do that. You know, the truth is, every city uses different frequencies. They've got TAC 1, TAC 2, and they've got their regular channels. And you can pretty much set up a scanner for it. And if you don't know, there's an app, you know, of course there's an app. Well, scanner radio. But these people are trying to block their frequencies and also to listen in for response times. Now, that's about the response times, is they've got this burn a car thing down to a timed science. They're doing it in less than however many minutes. However long that video was, that's how long it took them to torch the car that was dropped there from the time it was dropped there. And like I was saying before, you know, even in the Beyonce video where she was on top of a cop car, that was fake as hell. Nobody's going to leave a cop car. They can push it out of the way with another car. They can push it out of the way with a tall truck. They can tow it out. And if you have a car that has went underwater and is submerged, they can rescue your car by having scuba divers go out with a hook to the car and pull it out full on water. There's no reason they couldn't have pulled that car out of that intersection or pushed down the intersection. There's no reason they then could not have. I mean, they direct traffic in an intersection if that happens until such point as they could move it out of the way. There's no reason they couldn't have had 10 wreckers on the scene and 5 of the cop cars and surround and block and shut down the block and reroute traffic until such time as they move that car. That was not a cop car. That was a Hollywood prop car. That was fakery and fuckery. That was not true. So, once you understand that, Antifa had a car set there. They bought it used either from a Hollywood prop lot, those people that supply them, or likely, because it didn't have the lights on it, likely just a used, surplus police vehicle lot. And maybe even never registered it. I'd like to see the VIN numbers off of it, because it probably wasn't even registered to the new owner. They probably just bought it with cash, a couple grand, and they sit out there and burn it. Now, the news media will sit there and say, oh, look, they're burning what looks like a cop car. And they're telling the truth, because it looks like a cop, but it's not a cop car. You see how they do that? People, they lie to you on the damn news. The news is full of shit. So, once you understand that, and we'll go a little further, they're doing it in every single city. So if you see the kids with the skateboards and they look new and they don't seem to be riding them, they seem to be carrying them, ask them to show you a trick. If there's 2 of them together, right, and they don't have even vision shirts on, but they're all wearing all black and black masks and all this, and you can't see their eyes, they're up to no good. They're giving skaters a bad name. So if you're a skater, have your friends go and check this mess out and see if you could spot the poser, right? And turn them into the police as soon as you see them, because they're fixing to do something bad. And they've got it timed. You have to report them immediately. There's 100 people with cell phones recording that shit. You need to be the one that call the police. So take your phone off camera and call 911 and report them before they get out of there, before there's response time is over with. They know that they've got about how many minutes before the police can respond. And that's why the police were working to coordinate to corral and circle off blocks or square off blocks. And they had them all surrounded, and finally they arrest them. And that's why all the reporters were mad. Oh, poor pitiful us. We shouldn't be going to jail. We're reporters. Yeah, they act like they're supposed to have some kind of like I said, a pass card, or oh, we're just here to film this event or whatever. Well, hey, you're going with them. It's actually called guilty by association. You can talk to the judge about it later. Tell him who you are, or what kind of PSYOP or rendition you're helping run at that place. So I'm thinking in my head, I think these are renditions. You might want to look what that is. If they cut me off right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I think it's a local one, because I think instead of them working overseas or somewhere, I think they've decided, hey, just like truckers, some people want to be over the road or do whatever. Some people are like, you know what, I should get a local trucking job. Well, it's no different for those people. I'm thinking they're running local renditions. I think this PSYOP is part of it, okay? I think that there's some kind of a plan here to entice people that would be criminals. Then they get them in jail, which I put up the link to. Antifa's a little upset that they're not just getting the bail out of jail and whatever. Oh, guess what? There's a criminal rap sheet that comes with it. And first, you have to see the judge and you might go to jail or prison for 10 years. They don't like that very much. They found out, guess what? There's a consequence for your damn actions. So, they're quitting in droves, and I bet they are. I bet they are. So, I think you've seen the link I put up. If not, I'll put it up on this again. The point is, there's consequences for their actions. They're just now learning about it, that after they got bailed out, that's not the end. And the people that would bail them out are not going to get them out of this trouble they're in. Okay? I think it's all designed to see who they can entice to jump on top of a cop car with those people. And then they will get them in the criminal justice system. And then they fill up our for-profit prisons that make money because there's people in prison. So, I think that the people that have stock in the prisons are part of the people that's behind the whole game. That's another added benefit to the PSYOP. And the rabbit hole goes deeper. So, while we're running a for-profit prison system, and while people who are invested in those stocks are also investing a couple grand for a cop car that used to be a cop car because it looks right, and however much they pay Antifa to burn it, and however much it costs later for the fine for arson and burning without a permit and whatever, and then okay, they smooth it over, but they got all that publicity, and they got what? More people to riot because they're like, look, they're letting us get away with burning cop cars. And then they try it on a real cop car and they get their ass beat, or somebody gets shot, or somebody goes to jail, or lots of people get shot and go to jail. And then what? The prison systems get more crowded, and then they have to build what? More for-profit prisons. They've got a lot of them that are built that are empty. Okay, so. And I'll get into what China's doing in a bit. They've emptied some out for Hong Kong protesters that they plan on moving from Hong Kong. They're going to relocate like a country. You'll see. And they might attack Taiwan. We got our eyes open on that. But back to this mess, because that's a whole nother subject. World War IV. This subject, okay. So Walmarts are not off limits now because they did that in Florida. They think it's okay to burn cop cars, but they're getting popped for it. And they're burning businesses. They burned something like 180 businesses in the one town. They looted a bunch of blocks of different stores in California. Bamboo Soldier went out to his little neighborhood place and did videos of that. And he's like, look, I can't shop here. I used to shop here. I'll put a link to that video. I had already shared it in some playlist, but I got so many playlists, beyond me at this point. Like I was saying, the rabbit hole goes deeper. The money that's behind this and the people that are backing them are the same hands that have held them down. You got to look at it like this. If they can burn those local businesses and burn those people out, the corporations they have money in, like Walmart and places that are big box stores, and Amazon and this kind of thing, will make money off those people because they'll have nowhere else to shop and buy what they need. So they're investing in riots in order to make money on the back end by selling these people stuff from the other stores instead of that money staying in the community, which has been an idea, just like Gaddafi had the idea of going to a gold standard. The people in cities have had an idea that, hey, let's spend our money here. When you make money here, spend money here. And it was enriching themselves. And it was a local economy, okay? The people that are invested in the big box stores and have all this money in Wall Street, they're not about that. They need them to spend their money at bigger corporations that send their money elsewhere, and that what? Support the Democratic Party. It's all about support for the Democratic Party. And you don't know it, but that's what they do with your money. Okay, so it's follow the money. It's always follow the money. But getting to that, these are democratically held, democratically run cities that have failed you for so long. And they're the same people that want you to riot and tear down your own stuff so you'll be in the prison system so they can control you even more. And so you don't have stores to go to, and you'll have to drive however many miles away it is, or take a bus however many miles to the Walmart or to the Target or to whatever company it is. Then they give money to the Democratic Party. You're holding the hand that holds you down. People, it's not smart to hold the hand that's holding you down and holding you back. That's a boat anchor. Don't burn your own community businesses. Those are the people that's trying to lift you up. So, and don't be enticed by some, I'm just going to say it, some teenage or college age punk little, I would call them, I don't, what's the word for males that don't seem like they're men? I don't know what, there's a word for that shit. Some sissy ass young white kid with a mask on that would blow away with the wind if it wasn't for the clothes that they're wearing, with a skateboard, busting up a cop car telling you you should do the same, or handing you a brick. If they're not from your block, they don't need to be on your block. Okay? That's just the truth. That's just the damn truth. I don't go on blocks that I don't need to be on simply because I ain't got no business there. They don't got no damn street smarts. These people, like I said, they're soy boys. That's the word. These damn half-ass men, these sissies that are working for Antifa for money. They're getting paid to destroy your neighborhood. Do you think that's cool once you realize there's a check at the end of it for them and that they get a free bailout? And even the government leadership has said, the Democratic Party has said, and these Hollywood stars have said, we're going to bail out anybody that's put in jail in the riots. They're talking about Antifa. They're the ones getting arrested. Then guess what, though? Antifa's like, y'all can't get us out of a 10-year rap. Well, I tell you, I wonder which side they're going to go to when they go to prison. Are they going to hang with the Crips or the Bloods or the bikers? I don't think any of them groups are going to have, and they ain't going to have no just little Antifa group. I think they're going to get their ass whooped when they get in there because the people are going to know what they do. See, they already know. You go into prison and you're a pedophile, you're going to die. Or you're going to have your ass beat every day. They don't put up with that shit. There's a whole different system these people don't know nothing about in prison. And they're going to know what you're in for. Either you're going to tell them or somebody's going to tell them. Or they're going to watch that shit on the news. If you one of these little soy boys, guess what, Buttercup? You done turned 18. It's too late now. You're going in. And when you go in, even if it's to serve 6 months, they're going to look at you and say, you were free. You were pretty well doing pretty good. And your parents cared for you. You had 2 parents. You had a car. You had an opportunity to work. And you blew it to go into an underprivileged community, underserved community, a community that's doing what they can to get by, living off ramen noodles, eating, whatever they can, ketchup sandwiches. Let's be real, okay? And working 2 jobs. Yeah, I know about ketchup sandwiches. Working 2 jobs, trying to make rent because rent's high as shit. Like the guy said, the rent is too damn high. Okay. Doing their best, and you're going to go up and tear down the only store that their elderly can go to because they got to get there somehow, and they just using their walker, or you see them on their hover round scooter and shit. They're old. These people are old. And some people bring them food, but they go to the corner store. You got money, you go to the corner store. Buying single cigarettes and shit because they don't have the money. Single cigarettes, if you know about that. They ain't supposed to sell singles, but that's what's going on. Because people ain't got money for a whole pack. You gonna go in there and tear that shit down? When you go to prison, you're not gonna have many friends. You're gonna have a whole lot of enemies. And you're gonna get your ass whooped. So if you think the judge or the sentence or all that shit scary, you done fucked up, people. If you go into any of y'all people, any of y'all Antifa people, you got another thing coming. And unless they can send you to some kind of a minimum security bullshit, and even then it's going to be, look, ask Martha Stewart. That was minimum security and it wasn't fun. Okay? Still ain't going to be fun. But they're not going to give you that. You're nobody. You're going to do hard time. Hard time's not going to be good for you because of what you did. And you ain't going to just say, oh, well, we're going to sit over here and we're going to be the Antifa group. No. You ain't even going to have a table. They're going to make you sit out in the damn rocks. You're going to get burnt. You're going to find out, like they talking about in the prisons, like they say, you get 2 pair of underwear and whatever, a jumpsuit, and look, somebody else is going to eat your lunch for you. That's how that's going to happen. And then they're going to make you bring them your lunch. So that's going to happen. But let's get off the Antifa thing. Even though they tried to make their own island, they've decided, stupid island up there, I want to say it's Seattle in a city, they've made what's called CHAZ, C-H-A-Z. It stands for something. We're not talking about Sonny and Bono's son that turned into a girl, or girl that turned into... I don't know what the hell they did with that one. It's not that. This is a community, supposedly, of a bunch of those soy boys that have gotten together, and they've half-assed put down some newspaper and some... They tried to make a raised garden out of a heap of nasty whatever, and they put potted plants on top of it. So either they didn't have the time to plant them, or they don't understand they should put it in the dirt. I get it if you're hardening off a baby plant, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. They try to make it look like they're doing something. It's going to be at least 30 days before you get any kind of food, and you're going to feed all the people there. You're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. It's a whole bunch of stupidity. They're already out of food after 2 days. So it's been happening for 2 days. It's just been so stupid. Nobody really want to report on it, but I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it. Look up CHAZ, C-H-A-Z. They're making fun of their asses on 4chan, 8chan, Reddit, everywhere. They think it's so funny. And I think they should leave them there. I think they should wait till they all start, keeling over with dysentery and begging for medical help. I think they should just see how it plays out. It's a bunch of hippies doing hippie shit. It's stupid. And they're not even hippies. The hippies from the 60s, they knew how to make things they needed out of this and that. These people can't make shit. They could play a video game. They can get to a whatever level. They probably have video games. I'm sure they're connected with all kinds of shit. They're probably playing on their smartphones. But they probably got charging stations. It might even be sanctioned by Nike and some places like that by now. I mean, because seriously, that's what they do when there's something like that, is they put in a little kiosk and say, hey, this is our little thing. Well, hopefully they're running facial recognition software up there and find out who all those people are. That's what I'm hoping for. Run a drone over them, But anyways, so that's going on there. Minnesota Twin Cities now has gotten to where even CDL Life has said they did a poll of truckers and 70% of them are boycotting it. I already did a poll of what they do it. I already asked some people, and I've already tried to put on a radio program. It was live, but I think they deleted it from the recording one, so I went back. I couldn't find it on their channel thing. So like I said, I got my own platform. But I said it yesterday on a video. So I was ahead of the curve on that. Of course we're not going there. Of course. It doesn't make any damn sense. So I will roll through the loop and leave, but I'm not hauling back and forth into a city that's having any kind of an issue. It's not worth my time. So there's that. So truckers are boycotting the Twin Cities and other cities and other places. Like right now, of course, you wouldn't run through Atlanta because they got people on the street. You're not trying to hit them, even though whatever. But that's downtown Atlanta. You might be okay on the loop, but the loop might be backed up from traffic because it's like, what's going on? Hey, let's send a bunch of people there. And so Antifa's sending people there. The news crews are sending people there. All of the people who are activists or people who are trying to be famous, who are trying to be well-known for being well-known, are gathering in the cities and saying, let's see what happens, and I want to be part of it. And a lot of these people are just not smart. Like the one guy that brought his daughter to the thing, and she got maced. Well, don't go to these events. They're not events. It's not a football game or a baseball game. It's not a spectator sport. You're going to be in the middle of it, and you're going to get plowed over by something. A car that's trying to move through the road. Hey, guess what? It's a road. It's a road, people. And you ain't got no permit to have a parade, so you're illegal anyway. And you're going to get popped for it. And if you're in with a bunch of other people that do something or around them, they could say, well, you were supposed to render aid, so you're implicit in that crime and we want to try you for murder. That's called not regular homicide, but they call that, is it not involuntary manslaughter? Maybe it is involuntary manslaughter. Yeah, I think it's involuntary manslaughter. So, and not rendering aid and all kinds of different laws they got on that shit. So don't be a part of this PSYOP. Stay home. Sit back and watch what's going on. If you want to protest, do it in the daytime. Leave before nightfall or when the police say that you should leave. Don't climb up over bridges and walk where the rest of the crowd and this herd mentality shit is going on. Antifa's out there leading them. Hey, come on up on the highway. Come on up here. Say no. Learn how to say no for yourself and for the fact that you want to stay out of prison, and they are making money to be there. You're not. They're making money even if they go to jail. They got people that'll bail them out. You don't. The thing is, they're finding out they can't beat that rap. So they're pretty ticked off about it. I'll go into a couple other things here, and then I'll check out some comments. I'll get off this, but let's see. And that was CDL Life, by the way, that did that poll of drivers or whatever, whoever they had on their internet page. I got to get an internet page sometime. Hopefully, though, burning down the Wendys in Atlanta didn't burn down the gas station, because that would be more of an ecological disaster, and then people can't get gas if they live around there, you know, or food, because it's the corner store. Let's see here. Oh, I talked about the scanner guy. I guess I'm just about out of that, except for they got rid of the 180,000 accounts on Twitter because they found out it was all spies from China and Russia. And China has threatened to move on Taiwan if Taiwan tries to say that they are their own country. Well, they have been their own country forever, but they're not supposed to talk about it. So it's kind of crazy. So that might pop off a damn war pretty soon. And China's flooding, and their rice town, I'm calling it, has got issues where they're going to lose that crop to locusts and this kind of stuff. And it's already covered a couple thousand acres there. And they moved all the people out of their prisons so that they can take all the people from Hong Kong and bring them back to mainland China. Now they've got Hong Kong legally given back to them from London. London is taking people and sneaking them out so that they can become citizens in London. There's certain people who have a dual citizenship and a certain kind of thing. They're going there, and then, you know, they're trying to get them out. But China's on top of a lot of this. And they've got a new wave in China of the coronavirus that's, you know, going again. Some people say that it's the first wave never ended, but this thing's mutating. China is flooded everywhere. Right now, a dam broke. The whole, like all of the country is basically flooded. Some of it for days now, and they're fixing to get hit with a typhoon in 3 days. So the locusts hit already. It was 4,100 acres that were hit with the locusts. And the virus is what got worse in that rice town. It's the one town that makes whatever percentage of the rice for the whole thing. I've got that. It's the on a Wyon video. They're really good about talking about, or maybe it's China in Focus. I'll put a link to both of those I'm sure I can find them in like seconds when I get off this. But so China is being pushed to the brink, and they have people that are trying to protest. They may drop back and punt and try to start a damn war. That's just the truth. That's just a tactic that countries do. When they're pushed against a wall, they're like a dog and they reach out and bite. So China has already threatened to do that instantly with Taiwan if they even say that they're an autonomous country. And if they take over Taiwan at the same time, they might actually try to push some shit with the North Korea, South Korea shit, you know, because they back North Korea, even though there's been some argument and stuff. North Korea has now said that, from Kim Jong-un, that there's no reason in them even trying to further their relationship or continue it with the United States or whatever. Even though they met with Trump at the border, that's what they do. They flip-flop back. They're bipolar as shit. But that's fine. At least they're not trying to start some shit, hopefully. They did have some kind of a popping off where somebody, you know, fired off a couple rounds and they fired back from north to south, something like that. But China already pushed their weight around by building that island in the South China Sea and putting stuff down there. They have also, in case you don't know, they've been doing this for a while now, they built a mock-up of a Nimitz class carrier Okay, pretty sure it's not a destroyer, it was a carrier. They practice run bombing the damn thing to tell us, to show what that's exactly what they're trying to do. Well, over and above that, what you don't know and what you won't find in the news is that they took a mountain, and I'm calling it Submarine Mountain. Okay, people? They drilled over 100 tunnels into the side of this mountain with water outlets, over 100, and they've built God knows how many submarines. They've been gearing up for war for a long time. But these submarines, likely nuclear subs, likely have missiles on them, have been going in and out of this mountain, or into this mountain and hiding, but it's like you can't see that part on satellite, but it's known. And like I said, they have continually bored more holes into this mountain. They're trying to turn this mountain into Swiss cheese for submarines. It's a submarine sandwich. So I'm calling it Submarine Mountain. You can call it Submarine Sandwich Mountain if you want. Submarine Mountain here, okay, full of holes like Swiss cheese. Hundreds of tunnels, more numbers of submarines than there are of the hundreds. So we're talking probably 500 or 800 submarines. What the hell are they going to do with that? Well, of course, what they're going to do with that is start some shit. And they teach their people to go out into squares and do martial arts. They think that this is a scare tactic. The flip side of that, and what really pisses them off, is that a lot of these Shaolin monks and these people who are supposed to be masters of these martial arts, like, Lotus Flower and Crouching Tiger and all this other bullshit where they do some shit and then they just like go into a move that makes them look like a praying mantis or the line. Look, basically, if you watched Kung Fu Panda, it's a breakdown of all the different things that they teach in it. So, these masters of this martial art are masters at what they do, and they're getting their ass kicked every time they get in the ring with a MMA fighter, anybody that's into mixed martial arts. Now, our military uses, a type of mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu and death grips. It's effective. The shit they're doing, honestly, you can watch their masters get their ass kicked in the ring with MMA fighters that aren't even the grand champion MMA fighter. They're just like getting up there, yeah, I'll fight this guy, bring him in here. And he just straight up from the gate just gets his ass kicked, and he's just looking stupefied, like, how come what I knew didn't work? Because he's been brainwashed and believing it worked for years. So it really ticks off China and pisses off China when you mention these things. Sorry, China, if I pissed you off. I'm just telling the news, and it kind of happened. It's kind of real, so kind of get over it. There's videos of it everywhere on the internet. You can look up, Shaolin monk gets beat up by MMA fighter. MMA fighter beats up master kung fu fighter or kung fu teacher, whatever you want to look up. It'll come up, and you can watch them stand there dumbfounded and get their ass kicked and not know why, because they've been lied to for so long that they're just so magical, mystery, awesome, and that no one can defend themselves against what they know. And they've been around people who don't know how to fight, and so that's what their experience has been. They've never been in an arm bar that about broke their arm. They've never had the head kicked so fucking hard it about knocks them out. So China's been teaching and making their people believe this shit. So it's not like a full-on invasion, hand-to-hand combat would work. America, we're all armed and armed to the teeth, and we also have a military, and if you don't know it, you'll be armed and conscripted, and they have one waiting on you. So even if you're anti-gun, you have a gun. It's just a little news break for the people that are, oh, I don't believe in guns. You already have one. It's being held for you. You'll be assigned it in the event that we need even the buttercups to suck it up and stand up and fight for your damn country that has fought for you for so long. That's just a little heads up. In case you don't know, it's real. It exists. You just don't have it in a gun cabinet at your house. It's being held for you until such time as they show you how to shoot it and how to load it and how to defend yourself. Whether you can do that or not, if you're conscientious objector and you got your ass blown all to hell, that's not their fault. That's on you. But it'll be provided for you. Just like some MREs and some shit. That's what they need to take those people, by the way, up there. They need to take them some MREs, but they need to say, we'll feed you if you'll leave. But first you have to leave. So there's going to be a group of hungry people up at a place called Chaz. It's something like in the wording of it, basically it means, Chaz stands for wording that means autonomous area or some shit. That's like oh, this is our safe zone. They need safe spaces. People like that need more than just a safe space. I don't know what to say. Anyways, ring the dinner bell every day at 12 o'clock. Hot MREs. And then let somebody else eat them if they don't come out and leave. But don't go in after them, because that would just be starting some mess. Let them do their hippie dances. Let them video the shit and show how stupid they are and how little they know about sustenance farming, and that it doesn't just work where the next day, I mean, they're out there waiting to grow a pizza plant or something. I don't know. So there's that, people. I don't know if y'all know anything you want to put up. You can make a comment and I'll read it and check it out. Other than that, I'm gonna get off this thing. The lavender smell is awesome in here, and I have coffee. I'm gonna have a few sips of coffee. Say what you want, and I'm gonna get off this thing. But I'm hoping. Oh, there was one other thing. Sheriffs are calling for armed citizens that are in their homes to defend themselves if there be any need for it, and telling them they have the right to do so, because there's been reports that groups have decided to go to the suburbs or to neighborhoods or to places that are outside of the city limits to try to start shit. There have been counties that have said, we have told our residents to arm themselves. We know that they're already armed, and we encourage them that if someone tries to come into their house, basically blow them to kingdom come. That's what's up, people. So unless you want to have a real religious moment where you actually meet Jesus and God, and they tell you it's game over, you better stay the hell out of some of these places. All of them. Because ain't nobody taking your shit. And if you're one of the soy boys that's with the Antifa, and you think you can go out on the road, and you can get arrested and they're going to bail you out, you still got to talk to the judge. And the people in prison are not going to give you your little section. Like your little Chaz. There ain't going to be no little Chaz happy safe space. No. It ain't going to be like that. They're going to eat your lunch. That's what the hell they're going to do. I think it's funny as shit. I think it's funny as shit. You've been playing in the basement and planning with the financial backers, I'll say that. I won't bring up the name Soros or anything like that, that have been funding you to go to different countries and all this other stuff and cause riots. They're doing it in England too, by the way, and in the UK. I'll check out some of your comments, and then let's see here what I've got here. Let's see. I've been here before. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. Cornerista. What's this channel about? Well, I think you know what the channel's about now. I'm a trucker, and I teach and I help truckers that are broke down, and I change the parts and video that shit to teach other truckers that are in that situation. You can do this yourself. You can beat the wrecker. You're not as broke down as you think you are. If a wrench fits your hand, like the old saying, if a shovel fits your hand, you can work. If a wrench fits your hand, you can fix the problem. You need to keep on deck, wrench and spare parts. I teach that, but at the same time, when shit's popping off and it affects people that are truckers, I'm gonna tell you about it. It's kind of like a trucker news net. I do an Operation Hot Biscuit. This, we're gonna call this, like I said, mystery conspiracy theater, because there's some shit going on where they've got a cop with a knee on the neck, and he don't match the picture of the dude that's actually in jail. the video that shows him doing it on one hand shows somebody over here saying this and filming it. On the other hand, the different view shows no one against that wall. Looks like it was chroma keyed in. There's a whole bunch of bullshit where fake cop cars are being burnt. And so I think you might want to know the truth about it. So I'm putting the truth out. So I'm a patriot, and I'm a, what was it that general called it? A army of digital soldiers. I'm a digital soldier. There you go. I actually remembered that. Horsefly, what's up? I see your eyeballs. Okay, let's see here. Headed through Atlanta tomorrow. Well, be careful. Don't go through the middle. Okay. And am I in a semi truck? Yes, I'm in a semi truck. Let's see here. Here's my credentials. Did you get that? Okay. Let's see here. Not a trucker, but like content. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. It's real. It's for everybody. You know, let's see. My brother's a trucker. He says mainly are going basically on strike. It's getting to be dangerous. Yeah, I agree with him. Tifa's a cringe. Yeah, they're stupid. That's part of history. I don't agree with them taking statues down. Yeah, you know what? If it's a cost-benefit analysis for me with everything, I'm like, you know what? If they're so bad and you don't want them to be revered, have a tour to them daily where you bring children from school on a field trip. Tell the truth about them. Okay? And, you know, I mean, absolute truth, all of it, good and bad, and educate them and say, you see that was erected for whatever. And if they ask, why don't they take it down? It's because, well, you know what? It's a good teaching tool for us to show, because the people who don't study their history are condemned to repeat it. La historia se repete. That's Latin for history repeats itself. So that would be the answer. Forget about tearing it down. They need to teach it. Let's see. Sad what's happening in this world. Yeah, it's jacked up, and it's all contrived as hell. It's all a PSYOP. 7,500 radical protester who's been arrested over 300 times. Holy shit. Oh, that was the one. 83 offenses. He's not innocent bystander. He drove from Buffalo. He was committed. Yeah, you know what? He was using a scanner, they believe, to get those frequency grabber. He's the old guy you're referring to. He's a radical criminal. Yeah, right. Beta males. Yeah, right. Let's see. Going beta males, bro. Soy boys and beta male. I dig that beta instead of alpha. Like Alpha, Beta, Centauri. I get it, like the alpha male being the leader of a pack. Let's see, in prison, you can find out anybody's paperwork, what they're in for, and what they did. Yeah, there's probably people that volunteer and that are trustees that go into the office, and the damn guards will tell them. Let's see, homes ravens are at the bottom of the barrel in prison. Yeah, they wind up in the ground, not just the bottom. They wind up in the bottom of the damn. Yeah, don't let get me started. They sell them at hood store singles. Yeah, there's actually a hierarchy in prison. Yeah, you damn right there is. They're gonna find out they're at the bottom. But it wasn't Chaz, a girl that wanted to be a man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It changed his name to Chaz. Sorry to say, more than likely those protesters are going to end up with corona. Yeah, probably that too, but they may have immunity to it. Who knows? If they're living off ramen noodles, they won't, because they won't have any vitamins in them. I'm telling you, people, you need to get your hands on some vitamin D. That's actually keeping people with a higher vitamin D are almost like not even showing signs of the virus if they're younger, or they're beating it because they create antibodies quicker. It's a race between your immunity and that virus. So vitamin C, vitamin D is like sunlight, especially if you have darker skin. You need that vitamin D. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm Cherokee. So and I got pretty brown the other day waiting on a trailer. I got kind of burnt and everything else, and then, you know, so, but after that I took some vitamin D too. You have to measure it out. Like 5 of those 400 units is 2,000. You can get like 2,000, 2,500 units if you're getting no sunlight. If you're getting some sunlight, back it down to about, like, you know, 3 or 2 of them. or even one of them, at least one a day. Let's see here. Sorry to say more Corona. And this guy says, stop talking so much and leave your comments down, bro. Well, it's kind of my channel, Bob Haskins. Don't be a troll. Let's see here. Bob, you don't like it, then leave it. Yeah, I got people, yeah, Matt, you know yourself. It is kind of my channel, bro. You're welcome here. I'm not going to block you, kick you out, or no shit like that, but some people on here, yeah, and I told Icon don't block people. But, you know, see, this is the thing. I ain't asking him to either. But the people that have wrenches, okay, have the power to kick you off this fucking channel. That's the truth. I'm not gonna block nobody. I've always told them, hey, this is just something so jacked up that's whatever. But I get it. He's just trying to learn about what this is about. This is about me giving intel. If you want to make comments, talking between yourselves while I'm talking, so I stay on track, that's fine. I get through the comments though. I really do. I'm going through them now. That's how I do it. But it's okay. Run your mouth, Rich. I'm like, no, it's okay. Yeah, he's cool. He's just learning. Yeah. Yeah, unless you spam, yep. Let's see here. Just venting myself is saying, bro. Let's see, check out and listen. It'll help more. Let it go. Good stuff. Waited all day for this. Oh, JD, I didn't mean to wake you awake. You know what I did, though? Man, I had so much shit going on, and this was a long trip over to the damn truck stop over here. I walked over, not to break my 34 clock. And so, but I could have PC'd, but then it would have asked me again. I'm going to be PCing in the morning and go wash some clothes. It all worked out, though. I went up buying steaks there, but they got this damn Kona coffee. So freaking good. Let's see here. But thank you for waiting all day, JD. And I did put up the thing, but dude, you're awesome for making the trip anyways. Let's see. It deleted. He's, you know, somebody with see, I'm just like, these are my people. Thank you for being my people. Let him say what he says, unless it's too bad, but I'm sure you probably decided it was pretty fucking bad. So let's see. Chaz is called Chops now. Oh, is it for real? Let's see. What, the place Chaz is called Chops now? I gotta check that out. Let's see. Man, it's okay. LOL. Still getting info on Chops. Something protest. Yeah, they're flat out idiots. Yeah, and safety issues too. And sorry, my screen's going in and out while I touch it, so that's what you're getting while I'm scrolling up. Let's see, even talk hazmat sometimes too. Yeah, I saw that. JD, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know if I retweeted it or not because I retweeted so much shit, but on the hazmat, they were talking about the chloride and chlorine. That's the one I saw, and I'm like, those are some full-on stupid bastards for me for bringing that up. And you know me about hazmat and how I am about people's health and trying to keep people, you know, aware and apprised of any dangers. Those people are a danger to themselves, even knowing that shit. They're idiots. So totally understand how it's been. So too, bro. Yeah. How long have you been trucking? 24, 25 years. YouTube, I'm thinking I've been on YouTube like a year or two. I come in after everybody and came out like a rocket ship because I'm like, I'm not running a fucking puppet show. This ain't for the kids. This is for grown-ass people that want to know what's up and they are tired of the propaganda. I'm anti-propaganda and I'm teaching what I know about trucking before I go so that the young guys coming in are like not on the side of a mountain freezing to death, that they know how to handle their shit. Because really, half the stuff I put on here, all of it really, should be known from day one. But at a trucking school, they teach you how to get a CDL license. That's it. Then you're on your own about finding a company, or they'll put you in Swift, whatever, with a trainer for God knows how long, running to California, running your ass off, making $200 a week or whatever, and not knowing what the hell you just got into, right? Like this dude right here, he's walking. He's like, piss on it, I'm out of here. No, I'm just saying, so I give you a better view. So that's funny. I'm just joking. I'm sure he's got a fine truck sitting over there and he's doing good. We have to walk over to the truck stop. That's why I had to walk so far for coffee. It's just worth it. But, so anyhow, so to teach these people and to tell them about the shit companies too, and there's people on here that's actually breaking that down. I'm like, leave that to them. They're calling them up and asking what they offer and then making fun of it. But I will tell you this. I'm a finishing school for truck drivers. And I don't even care about my hater ones, right? You can hate me, Watch my shit and learn from it, and don't be blocking up the highway with your broke down ass truck. That's where I'm at. So I know there's a couple of them I've done full on pissed the fuck off. I don't care. I don't care because of how they were. But at the same time, watch my shit. You're a fan. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching my shit, bitch, you are a fan. That's what I tell them. So seriously, I just don't give two fucks about what they think. At the same time, they need to be watching my channel. Because if they don't know how to work on their truck, they are impeding traffic when they're broke down. They are a danger to society. If they're on the side of the road, half-ass in the road and half-ass off the road, man, like my little thing here, my screen fell. Half-ass on. And they're a danger to everybody around them because they're going real slow with the four ways on. They might get rear-ended, might cause an accident that could be deadly. I want them to have their truck up to snuff. I want it to be the best running vehicle because, like I said, even if my haters is running good, then they're doing what they should be doing and they're not danger to the rest of us or holding us up when we're low on hours and rolling down the road trying to get some damn where. They're not trying to create the first annual trucker parade doing 35 mile an hour on a 2-lane interstate and they got a Swift next to them. They can't do much better. You know what I'm saying? Impeding traffic. I'm trying to keep traffic flow. I'm trying to make it better for me and everybody else around me. And I'm trying to teach them shit that instead of them blocking up the damn TA and having 15 trucks deep, one guy needs a wiper blade changed because he don't know how to do it. Another guy needs mud flaps because he don't know how to do it. Another guy needs taillights because he don't know how to do it. Another guy just needs a fuse, but he don't know where the hell the fuse box is, and he ain't got extra fuses even though it's a DOT law says you're supposed to have them. So don't let me go off in a tangent because I do. However, these guys should know this from day one, and I'm not chastising them. I'm not saying that this is a group of damn dumbasses. I'm saying, come on down here. I'll give you water and let you drink. And I don't care if you're my hater. Drink the water. Trust me, it's good stuff. So you come here to my channel, you get full on knowledge. You go out, and when you experience these things that break, because your truck is like my truck, is like the guy next to me truck, is like that guy over there's truck. Every single one of these damn trucks is exactly the same. They're a little different, but they break down the same. And each individual manufacturer has something that should be a recall, and it breaks down, and they should know how to fix it, and really they should fix it for free, but oh no, that's on you. So if you know how to fix it, you'll keep the spare part and you'll fix it before it breaks, or you'll at least know how to keep yourself from paying the wrecker. I'm trying to help people to keep them so they beat the wrecker. So to start with, I couldn't train everybody on the damn fuel aisle, all the shit that I know about mechanics. And so, and I've had a truck that I had to basically rebuild just how I knew so much about this stuff. I bought an older Freightliner and it was paid for, but I paid for it, believe me. Changing brake chambers and all that shit. And doing it by hand, it's a good knowledge, and it helped me to teach these people on this channel. At the same time, it was a nightmare. I didn't want people to live my nightmare. And there was a lot of people that wouldn't help me. So I said, if I ever learn this shit, I'm going to teach everybody. And I couldn't teach them on the fuel aisle, every single individual truck driver. So I said, you know what? This is how these kids want to learn these days anyhow. It's the damn internet and YouTube. I'm going to put the shit on YouTube. And so it blew up. So even my haters watch my shit. Even the people that have their own channels, I'm like the cook. I bring you the food you need. I'm like the cook. You don't fuck with the cook. You don't piss off the guy that's going to actually keep you, from being broke down. You watch his shit and you move forward. So like I said, I get it. And I've full on pissed off some people. And I plan on pissing off some more. So don't think I stopped, right? Like I said, this ain't no kids channel. This is grown ass people doing real shit. And so when I'm turning a wrench and fixing something, that's for the people that need to learn it. When I'm telling somebody about their ass, that's because they need to learn that too. And when I'm telling people about what's going on in the world, that's because you need to know it. So just educating the masses, you know what I'm saying, about everything I know. Because the news ain't telling you what's going on. But I'll tell you, if I hear about an active shooter, I put it up on, Trucker Newsnet. We need an app for that. I ain't learned how to build an app yet. I'm gonna build a damn app if I have to burn up my phone doing it. I will make that thing learn how. I will learn how. So at some point I'll have an app. It'll be called Trucker Newsnet. I've talked with Trucker Path. I may actually work it out with them. I've given them so many truck stops they didn't know about that they're like, holy crap, you're really helping us. I'm like, yeah, because I believe in what you're doing. But I need my own map. And they have a forum on there. That's not the same. We need to know if there's flooding, if there's bridges out, and if there's riots and people walking on the interstate and stupid shit, so we can reroute. Because sometimes rerouting around a major city will take you into another state, and you need to do it early. You don't want to turn around and go back and burn all that fuel. You need to plan to go around the whole state. You need to plan to do it before you get into the state. It's already going to cost you a lot of money to route around it. So if there's a bridge out or some bullshit, we need Trucker Newsnet. So anybody that builds apps, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Put a damn notice on my comment or something or whatever and say, hey, I can build you that damn app. I can whatever. We'll figure something out. Drop an email. I will figure something out. Right now, I don't have a website. I'm going to build a website first. But I do need contacts on how to build an app. We need a damn app for truckers. I'm tired of this shit and everybody's tired of this shit. So it'll let us know what's popping off before the news knows. You know what I'm saying? So we need intel. Like they have the WeatherNet. But I done got off into a tangent just explaining my channel. Look at that. Let's see here. So I've been on YouTube, like I said, for a short amount of time, but it blew the hell up, and a couple million people have been here. I'm not famous though. Get that into your head, because I'm not running a PSYOP. This is me over here. This over here is what you see. This is the world. This dude's famous though. Check this out. He's fixed me famous. You see him walking? That guy, he's famous. I'm not famous. Okay? I don't have that Kardashian thing where I'm trying to be well known for being well known for being well known, right? But people like what I'm doing and they get it. I'm just trying to pass on information. I'm not trying to run a PSYOP. If I showed you me after seeing me for however many months, just like celebrities, it's real easy to fall into that same thing. You'll find somebody that you think that you like in some kind of way or some bullshit, or you think that that's your favorite person in the whole world and you want to meet them and shit. I'm not going to start a PSYOP, okay, to make people crazy in any kind of way about me. I'm bringing you news and real shit, right? And that's the problem. And that's one ingredient of a PSYOP, is people showing themselves. Now I do dig people's channels that show themselves, and I got friends that, and that's good. It's a thing, especially if they're doing comedy or they're showing their hands or they're talking. And you know what I'm doing, it's not that. It's different. I'm running an operation. This is an operation. Let's see here. Oh, JD was like, I was like 300 something sub. Yeah, it's good. You've been with me a good hot minute back in the day, right? Yeah. I've got people that are sub to me that aren't sub to me. I got people that are on flip phones and they're scared that the government's tracking everything they say and they don't want to say nothing, but they watch me and then they'll be like, some of them have my number and are, you know, old friends and truckers, and they're like, hey man, I seen what you put up. That was awesome. I'm like, you could have put a comment or whatever, or subbed or what. No, I don't, you know, and they're running their flip phones and shit and they're watching me on the laptop, the computer at the truck stop using the Wi-Fi. You know, however you want to get here, it doesn't matter. Just make the trip. You know what I'm saying? It's good shit. What I'm doing, it's informational. So I have lots of other, what I would call subscribers. That's how I've got a couple million views, but I got low numbers on subscribers because a lot of these truckers, and some of them are ex-military, they're paranoid from get one, and I get it. Me, I just quit giving a shit a long time ago. So let's see. From the Corona videos in the beginning of the year, I like your content, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the feedback. Anytime somebody can give me feedback about my channel, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I'm just here telling it like it is. People just seem to like it because it just happens to be true, you know. Take a drink of coffee. Hold tight. My God, that Kona, K-O-N-A, find a quick trip with a K. Kona coffee. Oh my God. It's a machine, right? Get the machine one, not the regular coffee. Get the machine one. Let's see here. Let's see. That was funny. Let's see. Twitter, trucking stuff. One. Yep. Let's see. So I appreciate it. Yeah. Let's see, during on trucks. Okay, that's a loaded question. I am part lease purchase, part owner, part lessor. And I have a truck that's got a blown engine, needs some work, and I'm not really trying to hit it. I've got a guy that bought one from me. It's a junkyard, and he's a friend of mine. He owns the whole damn junkyard. He just wanted fuel and tires. I could work on that if I wanted to. It's just one of the things where I'm not trying to put an older engine in that truck. It's a bunch of shit. You know, it's one of the things where you get done wrong at one place, whatever, you can have a truck to pay for. All of a sudden, you're busted down to buck private and you're running, you know, doing a lease purchase. However, the one I'm under right now, I'm going to say is honest. It's lucrative. And I've got a good contract. I was at a company that I had a contract with as a company driver and got laid off just before the coronavirus bullshit for some bullshit. And it was a mega carrier thing that I went to just because I knew they had one little contract. And I knew it was not forever. But fuck them. They lost a good driver. I ain't worried about it. I know what I do. I know what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need them. And I'm doing better now because of it. And actually, I've got one on the hook that's telling me that they would pay me somewhere around $7,000 every 2 weeks, but I'd have to wait every 2 weeks for a check. But I'm like, holy shit, 7,500 to 8,000. That's more than I make now. However, if they treat me here good as they have been doing, and they're just clapping and throwing money at this point, they're paying me for sleeping and shit. It's crazy what they're doing. There's money in it. And when you're taking care of bringing people food and you're dealing with farms and this and that, it gives you a good feeling. I'm digging the hell out of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm stuck on stupid for this shit, and it's decent money. But if they kick me to the curb at any point, for any reason, at any time, I've got a number of a place that will pick me up and put me in a brand spanking new 2020 truck or 2022 or whatever year it is, and put me rolling from day one. Am I going to cry? I'm going to rent a car. That's what the fuck I'm going to do. Last time, they rented me a car. And it took me, I drove 890 miles to go and get this job. On a wing and a prayer. Because at that point, I was kind of tapped for the cash that I would usually have. And I was kind of, my morale was kind of low. They called me at a moment where I was like, looking at other places, hadn't applied to nowhere but them, and they called me and said, hey, are you doing okay? How's your day? I said, well, son of a bitch, somebody cares about my day. I'll tell you about my day. I worked on this, and this. I'm tired of working on shit. I need to start turning and burning and making some money. What can you do for me? They're like, we still want to offer you this, and this. We don't give a shit about that last company or what they tried to say that you this or that or whatever. Because anytime a company lays you off for any reason, they can put shit on your DAC report, and they fucked with that. And I went on there, and I'm gonna have DAC probably already took it off, but you have to fight it. So they said, we see that you have 25 years experience with no accidents. We don't give a fuck about your DAC report. And I'm like, well, y'all make sense. And the guy says, our job offer still stands. We want you here. We don't want you somewhere else. If you go somewhere else, you're not just another driver, you're our damn competition. I said, hey, that's kind of a good way of thinking of things. I feel the same way. So the guy knew. And the people who are planners and dispatchers have their shit together. I can't stop for a good hot minute without having something to do. Okay? And during this coronavirus thing, I've got exemptions and this and that, and it's like, I'm so covered it's not even funny. Federal government wants me to be doing what I'm doing, and I agree with them. So the other company, believe it or not, though, is doing the same thing. Pays a little more, just a little more, not a whole, but it's a little more. So I'm not going to cry if I have to make a change, but I ain't going to like it because I kind of dig this. And I'm in a 2019 right now, so yeah. Won't be much of a step up, it'll be a step sideways, but I dig the computer the whole aspect of it. And on my dash, it tells me how many miles I've got to my next fuel up. It tells me what I'm doing. It tells me it's a digital readout of my speed, not just watching. I don't even look at the the gauge anymore for speed. I'm watching the numbers. So, and fuel mileage. It tells me my fuel mileage instant and regular and all that. So it's an awesome truck. It's come with a refrigerator, and I've got a microwave in here. So a true refrigerator, not the ones that plug in, but it's got a refrigerator in it that's actual refrigeration. I got steaks in there. I got, like, I'm going to show my grill that I built. You're going to love my grill. I made a grill out of a flat iron and you'll see what I did. I'll do a video on it maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Probably. So anyways, might even do a live with it, but so I have the ability to feed myself for a lot cheaper by picking up a steak that's in one state and actually freezing it, or any kind of meal. I've got one back there now. It's chicken fettuccine Alfredo, and I popped some popcorn just because I could, you know. I don't even know if I'm gonna eat all that popcorn, but it's there. And I've got chips and dip and all that shit. It's loaded up, and it's a true fridge that freezes water in the freezer or freezes stuff in the freezer. So I got frozen, I think I got some pizza rolls in there. I got, like I said, some burger patties, and I bought the burger patties and the sausages from a farm that I pick up at. The one I did the phenomenal view thing of. I go there. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going back there. So anyhow, but I got off into a tangent. We'll read some comments here. Let's see. One after another every couple years, thinking soon maybe late July. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, but yeah, mathematically speaking, you're kind of right. Buffering. I don't know how the hell that happened. I came to food stand sale. Trucker covers there. Yeah, I kind of do cover a lot. Let's see. Wow, it's cool that he offers knowledge to other truckers. Oh, I've saved a lot of truckers. Let me tell you something. You can't even imagine. I changed a dude's turbo live. I was like, y'all got challenges and shit? You talking about challenges? I got a challenge for you. Fix your shit live when you don't know what the hell's wrong with it. And I did that a couple times, and then I fixed the dude's turbo. That it was raining on him and shit, and he was like, man, I done started this mess. And I'm like, look, no worries. I got you. I'll help you finish it up, and we'll video that shit and do it live. He was like, really? I said, yeah, I've got a thing on the internet. I do this little thing, and we'll be teaching other people how to do it. He said, that's pretty cool. So he put it up. His kids could watch it. And then he could teach them at the same time and show them what real trucking's about. I mean, some back row shit, changing a turbo. And most drivers have never changed a turbo. So I'm like, well, that's a good opportunity for me to show them more stuff I know, just in case they want to change one. Now, if you have a blown turbo, of course, you got to take your cooler, the air-to-air cooler and all that, and have it cleaned out so there's not pieces of metal from the turbo blown in there. But if you're upgrading or you're changing one that's starting to leak oil or that kind of shit, it ain't blown, you can swap a turbo exactly the way I showed on that video. So yeah, I've saved a lot of truckers, wrecker fees and all kinds of stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, when they were cutting people back in the day, let's see how long you've been trucking. Let's see here. Yeah, no, 24 to 25 years. Say 2 to 2.5 years. That's funny. No, 24, 25 years. I say about 25, 26 years now, I guess, something like that. Let's see here. Yeah, JD's a hell of a helper there, anonymous. He gives me links on shit. He's like the internet deep web grabber of things that may or may not can be found. Let's see. So I'm coughing. I guess that's the coffee. Let's see. I thought about getting in the trucking. Heard y'all make good money. Yeah. The truth is, if you can't make $1,000 a week, there's something wrong with the company you're with. Don't take it on yourself. Just say F them and split. And you'll find another place that'll pick you up. I would say, honestly, get into reefer units, because hauling refrigerated. It is not just right now, but it's always been good paying. Now it sucks you have to listen to the unit behind you loud when it's running, but you're not always going to have that all the time, constant. And your truck, in the same way when I was delivering air freight and I was behind an airplane, and the twin engines, when I was at a certain angle, one canceled the other one out and made complete silence. In that same way, the engine of an 18-wheeler tractor will cancel out a lot of the noise from a good running, especially a good running reefer unit. Okay, so and there's my security detail right there. In case you don't know, I appreciate you coming by. Right there, that's my. Can y'all see that? That's my security detail. He just went that way. He's gonna be coming around. Anyhow, so I'll scroll through these for a sec, and then just letting them know, hey, look here, I see you. Appreciate you. Let's see. A CNC machinist. Okay, if you're a machinist, then you'd make a perfect truck driver, because for real, a mechanic or a machinist would make a perfect truck driver, because you're not afraid to turn a wrench, and you understand it's just changing parts. I was seeing this at first and then work at a steel mill. Yeah, and JD, you'd be one too. You'd be a good one. Let's see. Breaking news. Been doing one machine for 12 years. This guy's not coming up in the lot. I'm gonna zoom back out. Let's see here. SARS 22. Fighting from coronavirus. Yep. No notifying business. Let's see here. Yeah, don't worry about me though. I stay safe. Yeah, he's coming back around. He's gonna make the rounds. I hope he comes in a lot here. So let's see here. Yeah, $7 grand every 2 weeks is good money. It's phenomenal money. It's not bullshit southern state money either. Let me tell you something. The Midwest is where it's at. They pay damn good money. They care about people. They will call you on the phone just to ask you how the fuck you're doing. They ask me, I don't know how many phone calls I've gotten when they're like, is everything going good? Are you happy with the company? We're glad to have you. You're doing such a phenomenal job and all this shit. And all I can think of is, man, are you kidding me? The reefer unit broke down. I had these problems and stuff and this and that. And they're throwing money at me saying, hey, we're sorry that thing broke and whatever. We've got, here's the layover in this pay. Like I said, there's money, so much money. These companies, man. So, but I am doing the best I can, and I am doing good for them, and I am turning miles, and I'm making them a lot of money. But I'm making me money too. And like I said, reefers is where it's at. I don't give a shit who you are. If you've done it before, get back into it. Because right now, freight's going to go to hell in a handbasket because all these companies that are going to go bankrupt, and all the companies that, because of coronavirus, when the second round, when that thing finally turns into the Spanish flu of 1918 instead of the Spanish flu of 1917 like it is now, because it's going to mutate. It's got to take weaker people to live inside of to mutate. That's what it's going to do. It's already mutated. They've already said that there's at least 3 or 4 strands, but there's probably now 100 versions of it. I mean 100 for real. But they have mapped, I guess you'd call it, 4 strains. That means even if they had a vaccine, which they'll never come up with, they would need 4 vaccines minimum. So the whole thing is bullshit about a vaccine. Vaccine's never going to happen. At this point, nursing homes are a death sentence. And so it's going to kill who's going to kill. They're going to just open it up and then close it up, and open up and close up the economy of people coming home and, staying home and then going out, until such point as it kills the people it's going to kill, as long as it doesn't overwhelm the hospitals. All they're trying to do is underwhelm or not overwhelm hospitals. That's all they're able to do. Shut off the people from, travel and this and that, and stay home and don't work and whatever. Then open it back up. Then when it overwhelms the healthcare, wait, we need to go back home now. And just keep building coffins. shove a respirator, I mean, a trach, damn tube, intubate you for a respirator. And those people have, they did have an 80 to 90% death rate. Now it's a 60 to 90% death rate. So basically, once they intubate you, you have a high risk of you're going to die because it's so much pressure on your lungs. They're working on that by trying to change CPAP machines, which are less pressure, that they can give you before you need to be intubated, and maybe get you out of that phase of overbreathing and not having oxygen and that kind of thing. They need to use that. But the WHO recommends whatever. Fuck the, man, look, they need to change that. They need to absolutely not do that. So, let's see here. Let's see. It is worrisome we have more data, maybe not serious, but still good, very contagious. Oh yeah. See, honestly, I think it's like the flu, just a different form of it. Oh, it's created in a lab. It's definitely a pathogen, and it's a biological warfare agent. They've already mapped it, and they say there's no way in hell that it could be, you know, those different animals, and nothing lives in a snake. When they said snake, that's when it threw me, and I'm like, nope, that's bullshit. And there just happens to be 2 different places, not just one, but 2 in Wuhan, China, and they had those. No, they got this shit from Canada. That's why all those people are being killed. And I think I've got my own theory, and I can't even tell some of the stuff that I say, because if you look at it sideways, it doesn't look good. And then so we don't want to put stuff out there that doesn't look good. But I think it's what's called a bad bill of goods. I think the virus is a bad bill of goods. And I think that's why our death rate is low in this country. Ill bill of goods. So, let's see here. Yeah, nobody wants a dose of that shit. That stuff is not NyQuil, but it will put you out. Digital Dash. Yeah, 2019. Blue again. You showed us one. Yeah, the grill, I want to see it. Yeah, I'm not going to show this one. I'm keeping this a secret for a good hot minute. Told you I got haters, right? Let's see. On the live, that's awesome, bro. Let's see here. I never thought about what happens when you new to trucking and you have problems. That's good to know. Yeah. Oh, it's up there. It's under my 2 playlists that I would say that people should watch. Forget all the other stuff I do. Forget my lives. Forget any of this intel, okay? If you're a trucker, you need to watch 2 playlists that I put up called Playlist I Would Want You to Watch. It's Fix It Vids and Trucking Tips. Other than that, I need to do one on apps. I need to do one on, there's a few more I need. Oh man, I could do this shit forever. Like I said, like that song, I could do this shit with no effort. I could do this shit with no effort. It's because I actually know it. These people that are half-ass playing like they know shit, it's like, this I learned today. Listen, this I learned 20 years ago. This I've been doing for a long damn ass time. When you were wearing peanut shells for shoes, this is when I'm the guy you need to watch, because I've done it 7 different ways, and I can tell you the one way that works, and I can tell you the cheapest way to do it. So yeah, it's kind of funny. It's cute when I watch people try to do the little thing. Let's see. But it's good though. Teach more, and if you're doing a little something, go ahead and video it. That's good. You know. Even if I laugh at you, you're teaching somebody else something. It's good. It's all good. The more knowledge we get out there, the better, no matter who's showing it. Let's see. Oh, now you're trucking your rear. Oh, okay, I got you. Let's see. Be safe out there, bro. I appreciate it, Matt. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there are crap Reaper units. He showed us. Yeah, oh, yeah, there's some shitty ones. Let's see. I hope there's not a second. Back to the Reefer units thing, I'll tell you this. Back when I worked for Winn-Dixie, they were so bad way back when that when you backed up to a dock and you were loading ice cream, they wouldn't even say get down to -15. They say, look, just try to get it to try to get it to 10 degrees or so above, 10 degrees above. And when you back up to the dock, the ice cream will bring it down. So when they loaded up the ice cream, it would actually cool off the box, and you'd be on a damn 50-yard dash to hurry it up and get it back to the terminal, so that there wasn't no problems with it, because the units were that sucky. They couldn't even get down to the temperature, but they would hold it. Once the ice cream got there, the unit will hold it, but it ain't trying to go -15. So we got rid of all them shit units a long time ago, years ago, all of trucking, you know. But I'm running a decent unit, you know. It's good now. It's new, so it's a lot quieter too. Let's see here. What if we're all infected and just don't even know it? Yeah, a lot of people are. They've actually found that there's a higher percentage of people that are showing antibodies and showing that they actually had the virus at one time in New York than they ever imagined. And I'm thinking it's leading up to about 70% of that population, which means if, in fact, you can have a herd immunity to it, that those people could have already probably had a herd immunity and helped out. But you got to be high on vitamins and high on, you know, all your good nutrients from food to be that kind of a person. So it ain't gonna be everybody that's gonna get it that good. I think I'll be okay because I'm taking vitamins and all that, and I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go. But it's gonna be mostly because I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go, and I'm washing my hands with alcohol. And it's hard to get your hands on alcohol. I bought it from the get-go. I was telling people back then to buy it. They quit selling alcohol in the stores. Peroxide works though if you can't get it. Peroxide kills that stuff. Let's see. Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, aka CHOP. Oh, okay, it's called the Capitol Hill Occupied Protest. CHOP. So they changed it from Chaz to CHOP. Well, I hope they can chop up some food because they're out, is what they're saying. I don't trust any government who CDC shit. Yeah, the CDC, woof, man, that's just like a, man, that's like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off at damn CDC. I worry about that place. Yeah, they stole it from Canada. Yep. I'll check out your videos where I'm not even a trucker, but I want to watch. Yeah, this kind of stuff is I'm calling it infotainment because it's part information, part entertainment. It's pretty good shit. My videos, I like my own videos. This is really what's weird about things. Let me tell you something. I used to listen to Art Bell, and it's not that I'm a maniac for him or anything like that or some kind of a fan. I really was a fan of the program. I really did like what they were doing. And a lot of it talked about like UFOs and aliens and stuff that's going on at Area 51. And people were talking about, you know, he had a thing with Malachi Martin that I haven't listened to yet, but I know it's supposed to have been a big thing where they talked about casting demons out. And he talked about Mel's Hole. That's why I put a link up to the other one. That was him, Art Bell, on the Mel's Hole thing. And it was not so much that I believed it or believed in conspiracies or anything like that, which that, of course, any two people conspiring is a conspiracy. It's not just a theory, it's a conspiracy fact. They use the word conspiracy theory to try to make people who talk about this kind of stuff that's going on to be nut jobs, to make you not believe it. And then just like how we were calling the news fake news, they want to turn around and call us fake news, which was bullshit and everybody sees it. So, but I watched or I listened to the Art Bell program, it's radio, and I enjoyed it for entertainment purposes. And at night you can turn on the radio and it's on and it would keep you up. And I was driving from Kansas to Colorado. It's a lot of miles. So, you know, or even further, actually, all the way from Miami, you know, down to Miami. And it was entertainment. And so what I'm doing here probably is a lot like that because I listen to that. And in the way that I'm giving this, it's like a radio program, but you got something better to look at than me. You got that outside view, and trucks are going to come through in a bit, looking for parking. But, you know, I give a good view and I'm telling what's going on, and sometimes it's more entertaining than others, but it's along the lines of kind of what they were doing. And they interviewed people and stuff, and I've had some people on and stuff, but he had a call-in line. At some point, I would really like to get that going, a call-in line, and have a call-in radio program, and at some point, you know, maybe even do it full time. I think it will come to that. I think I'll get so many followers that it will come to that. But in the meantime, the main theme of what I'm trying to do is to keep drivers from being broke down and stuck. If I can tell them the tools to keep on deck ahead of time, like the airline and stuff that I had, if I can teach them ways of fixing their truck that they never would have thought about, and spare parts to keep on their truck, like an air compressor governor, like a turbo boot clamp, freaking extra airlines if you got, especially if you got the curly Q shitty ones, or regular airlines that are rubber, keep an extra one. I don't care what it costs you. It'll cost you a lot less than that wrecker. It's all about beating the wrecker. And so I'm gonna show how to cage a brake chamber, pumping it up. There's a lot of stuff I got in my head that I hadn't done yet. But the whole idea and purpose of the channel was to teach about how to work on trucks and keep them off the side of the road, and to keep these guys going so they can get home, and so they don't go broke paying mechanics all of their money that they saved up. The money you save up in your maintenance account is supposed to be for that wrecker when you have to have a wrecker, not a wrecker every Friday at 4 o'clock, not a mechanic every day at 2 o'clock. And I don't want you filling up the petrol when I'm trying to get a damn oil change, or a Speedco, or wherever I get an oil change at, with your bullshit, with you, oh, I need a wiper blade changed, I don't know how to change it, or a tail light. Stupid shit you should be able to do yourself, and you're just blocking everybody else up. And that mechanic's going to milk it for 30 minutes to an hour just so he can make his money. So that's holding up people down the line. So keep your truck out of the shop and work on it. That's what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, this little radio side thing of it was started because they started to have chemical leaks and not telling people to stay back however many miles. I'm like, what the hell? I've got hazmat. I've got a book. I'm showing you. Hey, look, the book says even for a tanker load to be this far away, that's a huge tank with many tanker loads in it. Stay the hell away from the whole town, right? So, you know, I'm just putting the truth out there, and it's my job to actually communicate the risk on that, but also to tell about things that are going on, and it only makes sense. But at the same time, some of this stuff has got some conspiracies behind it that really we should dive into, because it's not conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy fact. If they've got 2 different angles of video of that cop with the guy on, you know, on the ground with his knee on his neck, and the guy in the video that's the cop doesn't look like the guy who they have incarcerated, and they're saying they're going to give him his pension even if he gets convicted of murder, and all the other shit that's going on with it, and some lawyer saying the real George Floyd died however long ago, and Obama tweeted a couple weeks ago before he even died or whatever, something about George Floyd. There's some weird shit going on. If they're burning fake cop cars, there's some weird shit going on. So it becomes entertainment at that point when you start talking about the conspiracy of it all and what it could be and who the hell's behind it. When college-age kids that are not black are saying there's a problem that someone's being treated bad, but they're being paid to be there and to start fires and fights. That's not forward thinking or progressive in any kind of a way. That's not what Martin Luther King talked about. You know, peaceful protest, trying to find a common ground with your fellow man and not judge them by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He wanted to get people who were being underpaid to haul trash in Alabama to get a better paycheck. So he marched and they got a raise. He wanted people to be able to ride buses however they wanted to and to be treated right. And so they boycotted the damn buses, and it was effective. They messed with him about one thing. He filled up the jails. He said, "You going to arrest us? Fine, we'll go to jail." And they're, "Okay, your bail's made." "No, I don't want bail made. I want to sit in jail. I'm going to fill up your jail. You want us in jail? We'll all come to your jail. We'll hang out here." He flipped the script on them. Sometimes when they're giving orders and you're chained below deck with an oar in your hand, like in the old Roman movies, and you're having to row, okay? Look up Ben-Hur. Judah Ben-Hur was captured. He was a Jew or whatever, and captured and made as a slave with all these other white guys below decks. A couple of them were black, and they were rowing like hell for Rome, right? If Rome, your country, has you below decks, working like I am, rowing your ass off, and they're about to have you steer into the rocks, and you're chained below decks, and you're going to die if that ship hits those rocks, you might want to change the direction of the ship from below decks by dropping all your oars in the left side into the water and telling everybody on the right side lift their oars, and it will turn the ship and right the ship before it hits the damn rocks. And you can actually, even though the captain of the ship wants you to keep rowing as hard as you can forward and destroy the ship and die with it, you might actually be able to turn a country around from below decks. That's what we're doing here, people. We're righting the ship. Trump is righting the ship, whether you like him or not. He's draining the swamp, one puddle at a time. We're righting the wrongs. We're righting the ship. And the way you do that is not by lighting fake cop cars on fire and putting the shit on the news. But they're going to go to prison for that shit. Okay? They'll be well known for being well known. They'll be Kardashian. They'll be famous. They'll make themselves famous. Meanwhile, us patriots out here who are part of the QAnon groups, we're shining a light on the bullshit, you know? And I'm not trying to run a PSYOP while I'm doing it. So sorry about this light over here. That's that reader board sign. It changes out, and I told you what I think about those because I know what they do. And it's not even that one so much as the ones that are in Times Square. I would truly like to know, in between refresh rates, what the screens in Times Square are actually designed to do and what type of subliminal messaging they're actually sending out. Give that a thought. Let me know if you know who programs one. If they can ever tell you that there's screens in between, like the one that happened to get stuck on that anti-gun message that my friend, the professor, he's a truck driver. They call him the professor because he's so damn smart. That's for real. Even his dad was calling him that, and everybody just called him the professor. I got to get in touch with him. Professor, if you're watching this shit, you got to hit me up. Leave me a message, something. So, but yeah, the professor had to take that down because it got stuck on that screen, and that's real. But I'm going to zoom that out. I'll give you a little bit better view of this other building before, and I'm going to screen in some, so you don't have to watch that thing. Let's see here. Let's see. I want to see the grill. Oh, right. You're talking about the grill I made. Yeah, I was thinking of the front. I wasn't going to show the truck, but yeah, the grill I made, I'm going to show it. Do you think drinking hard liquor kills it? Drinking hard liquor would only kill what's in your throat, but it would lower your immunity because it would put alcohol in your bloodstream. The only thing that's going to kill it would be a transfusion of someone else's blood, not just adding blood, but almost a damn transfusion. Just like how they warm blood when you've been dropped into a cold water and you hypothermic and they warm blood slowly by running it through a machine. That kind of a transfusion with someone who has antibodies. Or to go further, and they already know this, they already know, O negative, Rh negative blood, the angel blood. So it's Rh negative because it never had any rhesus monkey DNA, which proves that you cannot have on this planet a bunch of people who were evolved when the perfect but overriding blood type that anyone can take and it will fix your blood, but no one can give to that blood type. Basically, the original genetic blueprint of man, untainted by the earth, so it was brought down by the angels, O negative, Rh negative, would probably kill coronavirus. And they've got people who are O negative who are saying they believe that those people won't get it. So I'm right about that too. Let's see here. U.S. government dropped the ball. Yeah, they damn sure did. They let them right in. They let them right in off the boat in New Jersey. Now they want to track people. They didn't want to track them then, but they want to track them now. See, the deep state wanted to spread that shit, and they wanted to make money off of the vaccines, but then they got served a curveball when everybody said, you can keep your vaccines, no thank you. Let's see here. Vitamin C and D, take D3 now. Yep, D3's the one. Let's see, good content, bro. Used to watch Art Bell back in the day, rest in peace, Art. Yup, yeah, he's awesome. I've got a playlist that I named Art Bell Will Be Missed by Truckers Everywhere. I need to put the Mel's Hole in that. I'll put a few in there. Yeah, it was good stuff. Let's see, yeah, Coast to Coast was good back in the day. Yeah, you know, he changed it from coast to coast. He changed it from coast to coast to, man, he was like High in the Desert, but they called it something else. It's like from coast to coast to Dark Matter. And then I think from Dark Matter, he had a sub program that was, I called it like Reddit. It was a little different. Shoot, because he had a podcast and he called it something else. But I wanted one of the coffee cups that say Dark Matter. I hope I can still get one. To be honest with you, I really wanted the coffee cup that says Dark Matter, because coffee is dark matter. I thought it was just hilarious in itself. Yeah, good content. Yeah, he kept truckers going at night. A lot of truckers listened to his show, he said. Yeah. That's hilarious. Have I had a paranormal experience? That reminds me of the way that they would ask. They say, if you're east of the Rockies, let me turn this off. If you're east of the Rockies, call this number. If you've had a paranormal experience, call this number. Let's see here. I gotta answer that question honestly. I think I did when I was younger. I had a dream that something came up to the window and it was about the size of Bigfoot, and it was scary as shit. I don't think it was Bigfoot, but it was scary as shit. And so yes, I think I have, but I've never told anybody that. Let's see here. Did you learn the hard way? See, about trucking. Yeah, let's see, about truck drivers that you want to show about truck driving is that you want to show other truckers. You lost me on that question here. Let's see. Well, I teach them mechanical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me try to zoom out. Maybe that will fix it. I don't know. Let's try it. I don't know. I'll show them mechanical stuff. Let's see here. Load intel of news. We're all current and talk about it all. Martin Luther King done more for his race than George Floyd ever did. No one even knows that dude crazy. Yeah, you know, that they and Joe Biden said the exact opposite, which is crazy. So, not even his kid recognized the picture. Not Christian. Oh, yeah, it was weird. Need to agree. Sure. No racist all the same. It's crazy how these people are protesting over shit. Oh, they're protesting over a whole nother guy that got shot in Atlanta. Let's see, drink 200 proof moonshine. Actually, moonshine is only up to, maybe it would get to 200, but that's almost impossible. It's 180 proof out of the keg. I think the most they've done is like 198, 197. Not to pick bones with you, but yeah, if it's 200, either way, that's pure alcohol and it could kill you. You need to mix that with something else because it's too much alcohol for your body and you can get alcohol poisoning, even sipping on it. It's like trying to drink rubbing alcohol or something, but it would be good for rubbing alcohol. You can use that. That's almost like 99% alcohol by volume. I understand how alcohol kills on your hands, but not when you drink it. It won't get into your body where the disease is. Disease is in your lungs and shit. It's everywhere in your stomach. Yeah, Dreamland and Dark Matter. That was the other one, Dreamland. Yeah, I never got into the Dreamland part of it. I think maybe I heard one. So I'm behind on my Heart Bell stuff, but thankfully he archived it and other people did. And I think that what he died from was what he loved, and that was being a ham operator. Okay. I still have his call sign written down somewhere. There's a lot of people that are telling me that their friends have died from cancer from using and being ham radio operators. And one guy told me once he saw that his friends were dying, and it was all the same kind of cancer. He thought it was from the radio frequency, so what he did was he dismantled his tower, and he says he's still alive and he doesn't have the cancer, and he's living. However, at the same time, the whole reason the government allowed hams to be hams is their theory was, and this was what they said was, we don't think that they're ever going to make it even across the neighborhood. They don't think they're going to make it down the street. They thought their radio frequency and their signal would be so weak that it would go nowhere. When they realized that they could talk to people in Russia, at that point, it became a little bit of a thing. Then you had to register as a ham, okay? And you had to, like, I mean, it was already a registered thing, but it got more serious. Then about the skip, and then there's one that bounces it off the water, and then there's a different one that the frequencies bounce off of the atmosphere. Okay, there's two different ones, and it's different for what kind of weather you're having at the time, and how the sun's activity affects it. And so basically, I think that these cancers, I've got a conspiracy theory on that one. I think it could have been given to those people. So to be honest with you, I don't think it's the frequency. I think it's that maybe they weren't wanted to be doing what they were doing. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, and now I'm live, and something just happened. I'll move that. But yeah, so whatever I lost, I've now gained again. I'm back. But yeah, so I can have my opinion about that. And if it didn't make the trip, that's okay. I'll just keep the opinion to myself. I'm not going to repeat it and have them cut me off again. Really odd that that just happened, right? So, so there's that about hams. Yeah, and even now they burn that Wendys, gone already. Yeah, the Wendys was fully engulfed. They never would have saved it. I was hoping they put it out. Hopefully, and usually it wouldn't be a problem. So hopefully it didn't burn up the gas station next door. The tanks are underground, shouldn't be an issue. However, you know, so they're terrorists, you know, and it really pisses me off. Let's see, Blow, I like the alien story interview. I liked his alien story interview. Yeah, you know what I liked? And I will tell you the two best shows, and I'm going to find them and I'll put them up in that playlist that I named Art Bell Will Be Missed by Truckers Everywhere. I'll put this up. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a note of it because I'm going to forget this because I'm old. I'm 100 years old, people. Basically, I got another comment here. Let's see here. I heard they killed him for exposing the truth. No, I think he died possibly from the radiation from using the ham towers. But I think that there's some people who they could have given a certain kind of cancer or something. To be honest with you, it's a thing. But what do I know about that? You know what I'm saying? So what's called LE? We'll leave it at that, right? LE. So, you know, as far as Art Bell is concerned, he was on ham radio a lot, and he did die of a cancer, and I think it's from frequency, and he had a huge loop antenna that he put up at his house, and it was gaining power from the atmosphere in the same way Tesla said it could be done, only it was it was a low wattage but high, or low amperage but a high watt. Let's see what you got a comment here. Look it up on Wikipedia. He was talking about people trying to silence him. He came back on the air after a long hiatus. Okay, I'll check it out. But anyways, so it could have been the RF frequency. They say, listen, there's even in the book, in these 18-wheelers, it says, on the Freightliners, it says interior antennas. If you're running more than 6 watts, which is factory legal, but even if you are running that, you are exposing yourself to RF frequencies that will cause you cancer. So you run an external antenna. I got 2 external antennas, but you're not supposed to run but one because they work against each other. I use the other one as a spare. So, and I don't know what the hell that car was about. Probably some dude, whatever, had a right here. So, let's see here. Tifa needs to go domestic terrorism. Yeah, it is domestic terrorism. They've already been called that by the president, which means they've already acted on it, which means those people are going to get prison time. And I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, don't mess with my country. You know what I'm saying? It's the only one I damn got. Hell. Now, I'm part Cherokee. They done took my nation and had to have us readjust and shit. And it wasn't like we was all, you know, in, you know, teepees and shit. They had my people come out there. They were houses. They wanted that land. They wanted the gold, which is really crazy and awesome. Got a friend of mine that's a treasure seeker. And it just so happens, I talked to him about this. They never got the Cherokee gold because the Cherokee never told them where it was at. There's mines, there's whatever, but they never got the gold. I think that's funny and awesome at the same time. And they chose who was going to stay and who was going to go up to Oklahoma. They moved a whole church, by the way. They dismantled a log church and brought it with them on the Trail of Tears. But here's the other thing. Guess what, people? The Cherokee people lied. They lied to the American government. They decided in a backroom meeting who was going to stay in North Carolina, Georgia, all them places, and who was going to be on the Trail of Tears. And the ones that decided they wanted to stay lied and told the government they had tuberculosis. And the government said, we don't want them on the trail. We don't want to be around that. And so they left them be. Isn't that funny? And look up the story, by the way, if you want a real good story about Native Americans. Look up the Lumbee Indians, Lumbee. Look up Henry Lowry, Henrylowr. I want to say Rey or Ry, doesn't matter. Henry Lowry. He was a Lumbee Indian of the Lumbee Indian tribe of Lumberton, North Carolina. It just took me a minute to get through that. So he was the Jesse James of the Native Americans. Let me tell you what he did. He stole his own ransom that was in the store because he had killed so many of the soldiers that were coming after him, trying to make them slaves and have them work into the fort, build the fort, because Native Americans had been considered non-white legally and could be taken as slaves. And they didn't want to go and build that fort. They went out into the swamp, and every time they went after them in the swamp, they killed them. And there was a whole thing with the ransom, and they took their wives. The town police or sheriff, what you call it, took their wives as captive, brought them into town, and he went into town and he says, sent a note, basically, he says, you will let our wives go or I'll kill every woman and children in the town. And they were scared of him because he had killed the soldiers that went after him, so they released the wives. And at the same time, he went and stole his own damn ransom that he was told was in a safe in the general store, which was worth millions at that time, okay? And then he disappeared. Now, some say he was killed and all this. The truth is, from a Lumbee Indian woman who taught me, because she knew I was Cherokee and she knew my people, she told me, here's the truth. The truth is that he moved out west. And after that, his wife never remarried, and she made all these mysterious trips out west. Now, some people want to say the out west part was West Tennessee. No. He went Navajo west. He went out west. And she had that kind of money. She never hurt for money. She always had money for anything she wanted and wore nice clothes. She never remarried, and she made many mysterious trips out west to go see him. But he was never seen again because he knew if he came back, they'd kill him. So that's Henry Lowry of the Lumbee Indians of Lumberton, North Carolina. But they never got the gold from the Cherokee. The Cherokee knew where it was at, and they didn't tell him. But they decided in backdoor meeting, hey, who wants to stay here and who wants to go? And they're like, well, we'll go, and y'all stay, and okay. They're all family. The ones that wanted to stay lied and said they had tuberculosis. So they tricked the national government, the federal government, So, and you can look up, the truth is that some of them stayed because they had tuberculosis. They never had tuberculosis. They lied. That's kind of a family story, because I'm Cherokee. That's kind of a family story that those people lied. Sorry to, disappoint the world that thought that there was something going on. They didn't have tuberculosis. They just didn't want to go. They decided, and those people went south. And then later wound up back in Cherokee, North Carolina, and then they had a Cherokee reservation there. But they wanted their houses and the land, and they wanted white settlers there. It was not a westward expansion. It was theft of property. And then they gave them back a big piece of land, and that's where I go to my family reunion at. And it's known to be that they all wrote up a slip that says, I claim my Native American heritage through this, this, and this, and all you need is your mom and dad's birth certificate and a marriage license between the two that goes back far enough for each single person, all the way back to the person that last claimed that they were Native American, and you can be on the enrollment. You have to find their name on the Dow's rolls. So, my grandmother and great-grandmother, grandmother, great-grandmother, born on a Cherokee reservation. So it's not hard for me. Some people would have to go back further. So, yeah, there's that about Henry Lowry and about the Cherokee. And I don't know one Cherokee person that would not agree with me, or that would argue with me about the lie about tuberculosis and about the Jesse James story on Lumbee Indians. But the Lumbee Indians were kind of done wrong. They were never given the right to become a tribe. They are what is called a unrecognized tribe. And the problem is there's only so much money that the federal government gives out. So now there's a little thing between the Cherokee and the Lumbee Indians, because if the Lumbee Indians are given rights to be a recognized tribe, that will take money away from the Cherokee that get money. So there's that, which all you get is a piece of land that either a house is already on, and that's what you get, or they'll build you one. It's kind of like that. So if I ever decided to, I could probably retire on the reservation. But who the hell wants to live on a reservation if you can do good? You know what I'm saying? If you can make money, because it's for jobs or this or that, So there's that about that story side of things, and about the big lie that's the hidden secret of the Cherokee, of the ones that didn't go on the Trail of Tears, that people don't know about, but you know about it now. Only on this channel, right? Listen and learn, right? Man, I got a spoon back here for this stuff. This is good stuff. So I'm dropping a lot of knowledge on this one here, but let's see here. My bad, I can't say that right now. Let's see. Art Bell. Is this DB Cooper? Yeah, we got DB Cooper in the room. Tell me where you dropped them bills at, DB. Yeah, that would piss off the government to find out that DB comes on my channel and outs himself. I dropped the parachute here, and I just decided Truckin stuff should be the place where I tell her. That'd be great. In case y'all don't know, DB Cooper is an unsolved mystery of a person who that's not his real name, but he signed onto an airplane as DB Cooper, and then he had a parachute with him, or maybe he asked for one. He asked for so many bills or whatever, they gave him that and a parachute. He jumped out. They think he could have been one of those. There was a guy who was in airborne. They think it could have been him. And then, because he fit the bill, could have been a couple different people. Later, there was a guy that said that he knew where the money was and found some of it. And then there was some bills that did show up, but not all of it. They never found the parachute, never found the guy. The FBI's been looking for him forever. It's not me, because I'm not quite old enough to have been him. But I'd take his money. But they're all marked. All those bills are marked, and they knew which bills were used. And were found later. They did find some that were buried in the area, and that matched them, and so they believed that story. So, let's see here. I'm from Oklahoma, part native. Oh, right, I got you. See, I drove through Oklahoma. Oh yeah, all the time. I got family that moved up there. I got family that was the Native Americans that kind of walked up there. You know, my uncle used to go and see them all the time. But my other aunt, she um, lived up there, and her husband. Let's see here. Let's see. Google blood quantum. Yep. Let's see. Family out there. No man. Let's see. Thanks for red pills. Yep. Got you. Broken Arrow. Yep. I've been through Broken Arrow. I heard of DB Cooper. Who knows what happened to him? I've got a pretty good idea what happened to him. He took a certain part of the money and buried it because he couldn't carry all of it. And I think it was that military airborne guy who had done so many jumps and knew what he was doing. And I think that he lived out his days under whatever other name, and I think he's gone now. I think that's what happened. Because he never was DB Cooper. That was a fake name in the first place. And that was the end of that. You know, I mean, he, like I said, he couldn't take all the money. He couldn't carry all of it. He dropped some in one place and took the rest. He couldn't. It was probably because it was dark. He couldn't have possibly found that other, so he just took what he had with him, which was most of it. Most of it. And they don't want to admit because it's embarrassing, but I'm sure they probably found, because they had marked, they know about the serial numbers on the dollars. They did find some later that were buried in that bog, and that one guy had found, and he had had some kind of party and said that he had found that money or something like that. That guy, I don't know his name. There's just a story about that. But I'll try to find a link. That's what I was going to write down. See, I got a little scatterbrained. I've got to write down all the things from Art Bell that I want to archive and put in that playlist. And one of them is the one about DB Cooper, because he had a thing on there. I think he was saying that DB Cooper was on the line. I couldn't believe that part, but one guy was talking about it. So if I can find a pen that actually writes, half of these are just for styluses for my computer. It's gotten that bad that you have to have a stylus just to do a logbook. Art Bell, DB Cooper, Mel's Hole, and let's see here. Oh, there's two guys. That's what I was going to say. My favorite one's from him. One was Bob Lazar. Now, Bob Lazar has been debunked and then rebunked by people. I kind of dig his story, and I kind of believe it. But the one that I really believe is the guy who said he was a kid and that they basically gave him a damn Trident missile to play with. That guy talked about a living, or was it Bob Lazar that talked about one of them that was almost like a living spaceship? But that guy talked about his rockets and talked about that he saw a spaceship. Yeah, that was the one that was living, and he's like, what'd you do with the bodies or whatever? And he was a kid and he was all freaking out, and then they gave him a truth serum. I mean, he was talking, that guy, I gotta find his name. That's maybe the greatest story ever told. Not, forget about Lazar, the guy that had the rockets, and he was, when he was younger, he was able to build rockets. His parents didn't really know what he was doing, but he was building 3-stage liquid rockets, and he or at least 2-stage, but then he got in 3-stage, I think, but multi-stage, and he shot one up and it killed a cow. And the story behind that was he killed this cow with the rocket, and he had to tell his neighbor, and he felt so bad about it. He's like, man, these guys are gonna be so mad, and I'll be in so much trouble. And the guy basically contacted his dad. And his dad comes out there after he's talking with the guys in the barn about the cow. And the guys, before he talked to his dad, the guy says, no, it says, it's okay that you killed the cow. I was going to slaughter that cow anyways. You just gave me a reason. but now you're going to butcher it. And he was a really smart kid, and they put him to the job. They said, you go in here, they had it strung up, he butchered the cow, he cut it up into pieces, and when his dad got there, his dad was happy, because while he was cutting the cow up, the guy was talking to his dad, telling his dad, saying, hey, guess what, your kid killed my cow, but it's okay, I was going to butcher it anyhow, and since he's butchering it for me, we're just sitting back, kicking back, and showing him, you know, some pointers, but he's cutting it up, doing all the work for me I didn't want to do. We're going to give you a lot of the meat from the cow. They gave him a whole side of beef. So his dad got a whole side of beef. So when he's done cutting it up, he turns back and he's talking to his dad and thought his dad was going to get onto him and he'd be on restriction or something. They're like, no, this is great. They gave me all this meat. So the next day he's back building rockets. See, he was shooting them off out of a pit. He dug this big pit that would catch most of the fire. But when it went up, it had a problem and it shot over sideways and it killed into a group of cows, and it killed this one, what he called this one big old cow. Well, that was the one the guy wanted to slaughter anyhow, and it killed him dead or in hell. So he's lucky he didn't kill the whole herd. He'd be cutting up meat all night. That's the story about this guy. I gotta find his name. I'll find it though. I promise you I'll put that up. So forget about Bob Lazar. That's a janky story that you can fall into a rabbit hole. Forget about that. This guy's awesome, and he's got a great attitude. And he talks about how the government finally gave him a Trident missile and said, figure this one out. You check out that truck. Look, we just got photobombed by, I don't know that. I think that was one of the Transformers trucks. I think it was Optimus Prime. Anyways, I got a Transformer on a lot. So he figured out a propulsion system that was so fast that it would crush a regular rocket. So he had to have a Trident rocket. It had to be made out of a certain material because it was so ballistically fast, like being shot out of a gun. His propellant was, his motor, if you call it that, it was not liquid. That basically it would crush like a can the rocket by pushing it from the bottom, unless it was made of the same kind of material as that Trident missile. So he was a kid playing with Trident missiles. Crazy, I know, but the guy tells a really good story. So I did it no justice just now, but if I've got you on the line for it, on the hook for it, I'll put it in the links in this video, and I'll find that in a few minutes. So I'll go through a couple more comments. I have to touch the screen to make my comments come up here. Let's see here. Good night, friend. Yep, good night. He got away. They found some of the money, didn't they? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no broken arrow. Small world. I believe Bob Lazar. Yeah, this is a whole nother. It's so much better than Bob Lazar. John Titor. It's not that one. Guy from the future. Oh, John Titor. I'll put a link up to that. There's a couple of them. Future. I wrote that down. I'll put time traveler, because I will do that. Let's see here. Love that. And so that guy's story, like I said, is, I think, honestly, out of every story I've been told, that's the greatest story ever told. And you just got to watch it. I promise you, in minutes, I'll find him. I'll put up a link to him on this as a comment, the way I dropped him the other day. I'm just going to do it all in comments, so you don't have to go in the description. People can get lost, but later I'll do back to the descriptions. But for this one, I'll do the Art Bell. I'll do a few of those because we talked about it. And I'm trying to think of what the dude's name was, but it doesn't even matter. And now, like, he went from that to working when the government said, look, we want you to build this missile. They were trying to go for first strike. He was going to build a first strike missile for him that was that ballistically fast. And so, but he figured out what they were going to do with it, and he blew up his own rocket and put some grease on it and made a chemical effect and blew it up. And it was on Groom Lake. It was close to, it was where Area 51 was. And so that pissed off the general, and the general, they gave him truth serum to try to figure out what was in it, but he wouldn't tell him shit. And so, how he did the motor, so they could re-engineer it. And so he says, I'm not going to work on that anymore for you, but I will. They said, he says, I will build something that's not deadly to all mankind. And they said, well, we have a project where we're trying to build good jet engines for airplanes. He says, okay, I'll work on that. And so he did for years. He worked with, I believe it was the Air Force. And so the guy's got a really great story. Like I said, some of the knowledge that he says, he skates the line of giving away any kind of proprietary knowledge. He doesn't want to do that. But some of the knowledge that he says and the whole story is so believable, and it's a really good yarn, a really good story. So I'll put up a link to that. So I'm gonna get off this thing right now. I'll put up a link to that. For the 7 people in the room that's still awake, you got enough time to watch another 30-minute little video, and it'll be that one. You'll enjoy it. And the next time I do a live, mention his name, whatever the hell it is, and tell me that you like the story, because that is the best story of all time. So it's so believable. I'll find 4 or 5 of them. You can pick the one that's the best rendition, because he's told that story his whole life several times. But he hasn't given many interviews as Bob Lazar has. He just, when somebody asks, he tells about it. But he's not really, you know, into UFOs or this, that, but he tells the story about how they put him in one. And that, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Bob Lazar to talk about it. He's the one that talked about where are the people at, because it was bashed up and they wanted him to fix it. And it was the same type of engine that he had already built, which is why they thought it would be right in his wheelhouse. They wanted him to reverse engineer an alien craft that they had at Area 51 that had a skin on it that was almost like a living creature that could tell it opened up for him, and it listened to him when he touched it. He felt it. And there was something about that engine that he saw it. He knew that that was a bigger size of his design of an engine that was hypersonic. Faster than speed of sound, almost like faster than a bullet. And that's what would have crushed any other rocket but a Trident rocket. But this was a bigger version of what he did, and they wanted him to reverse engineer it. I'll put up a link to that now. I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll give you something good. And Optimus Prime took his tank, so that's awesome. He's gonna be delivering to a town near you. Y'all stay safe. I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll plan on doing something Art Bell-esque at some point. I'll come up with some stories that I've got, and I've seen some stuff fall out of the sky. Some of it glowed green because it was copper from like space debris. Some of it glowed white and red, like you wouldn't believe it would have. I've seen blue, but white and red is some weird stuff. So, and by the way, I did mention that there was a comet inbound that we needed to watch our, skies for. It hit Africa. It dropped a lot of rocks on the African people, and there was video of it. And Kart Racer, which is actually Above Ground World News, and he does that. It's Above Ground World News, but it's something else. I'm subscribed to him. I can't even think now. But his channel, he did a video on it where the rocks hit, and it was debris from the comet that broke up. The first comet, not the second one. The second one would have been worse. But I think it broke up, and it shined bright and then went back dim because it went past our second star, our second sun. That the gravitational effect of it, it's a dark sun. They've already theorized it must be there because of the gravitational effects of things in different areas, but I think it went right by it. And that's the location of it if they're looking for it, but they're not looking, or they don't want us to know they're looking. So anyhow, watch for the PSYOP on this thing. They're using chroma key. They're using fake cop cars. They're doing a lot. And there's a lot of money behind a lot. So I'll put them links up to that guy's story. You can watch it. Y'all stay safe. I'm going to get off this thing. See if I've got here. Awesome Socials Coast Code. John Tidor. Let's see. Truckin. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they gave him sodium. Is it sodium? Sodium penth? Whatever it is the truth serum. Let's see here. Seeing stuff too. Solid fuel rocket. Oh no, it was liquid, and it was a multi-stage. Yep. So I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll find that real quick, and I'll find 4 or 5 versions of it, and just put them up. And then you can pick which one's the best. I'll try to make a comment next to the one that I believe is the best of him, And there you go. Y'all stay safe. I'm getting off this thing. I hope you enjoyed the program. And maybe I'll do another little something with my grill tomorrow. I'm thinking I'll have time. So I'm out. I'm off this thing. Peace.